Starting an independent online business in 2004 required a brutal compromise. You either paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for complex enterprise software, or you surrendered your brand identity to a centralized marketplace like eBay. Tobias Lütke didn't have a massive budget. He was a young, self-taught programmer living in Ottawa, and his only goal was to sell snowboards online with his friend. Finding existing software options hostile to designers, Lütke spent months writing his own custom storefront from scratch, using a nascent framework called Ruby on Rails. He called the shop Snow Devil. There was no visionary master plan. The foundation of a global empire was born because a craftsman grew tired of working with broken tools. Snow Devil successfully moved inventory through the winter, but as the season ended, the snow melted and the demand for boards evaporated. With the shop quiet, Lütke and his partner looked at what they had built. They saw that while the snowboards were seasonal, the elegant storefront they'd coded could sell anything, to anyone, at any time. They had discovered a massive market vacuum. Independent merchants were desperate for a platform built by someone who actually prioritized the seller's experience. They launched Shopify in 2006 as a subscription service, but a cash crunch followed almost immediately. Merchants demanded more custom features than the tiny core team could possibly build. Instead of hiring an expensive army of coders, Lütke built an API. These were essentially digital doors that allowed outside software to plug directly into Shopify's core code. External programmers began building specialized tools and selling them directly to Shopify store owners. As these apps made the platform more capable, more merchants signed up, which in turn created an even larger and more profitable audience for the next wave of developers. By treating the business like an open-source codebase, Shopify scaled its capabilities infinitely without collapsing under the weight of its own payroll. To accelerate this growth, Lütke brought on Harley Finkelstein. An extroverted lawyer and former merchant, Finkelstein took over the business operations, complementing Lütke's engineering focus. By 2014, their success created a new problem. Their largest merchants were growing so successful, they felt they had to leave Shopify for legacy enterprise software. Management reacted by setting up a secret lab in Kitchener-Waterloo. They hired recent graduates to cold call these massive brands and test pilot a new tier, Shopify Plus, specifically to capture global enterprise volume. The strategy worked. Shopify now served as the primary architecture for global brands, scaling with them from their very first sale to their billionth. The financial model shifted in 2013 with the launch of Shopify Payments. Instead of relying purely on flat monthly rent, the company began taking a small percentage of every sale processed on the platform. This model allowed Shopify to frame itself as the weapon of choice for rebels fighting against Amazon's centralized marketplace. Amazon captures the customer data and brand value for itself. Shopify remains invisible, providing the back-end tools that allow independent merchants to own their audience directly. Shopify's true growth was unlocked the moment they aligned their own financial success with the direct financial success of their users. Shopify went public in 2015, and 5 years later, the COVID-19 pandemic triggered an explosive wave of e-commerce adoption. As physical storefronts closed, businesses faced a life-or-death scramble to get online. Shopify's revenue nearly doubled in a single year. To capitalize on this, Shopify launched a multi-million-dollar gambit to build a physical logistics and warehouse network, attempting to match Amazon's delivery speeds. The physical expansion struggled. Moving heavy boxes is a low-margin, capital-intensive business, and the pivot toward logistics represented a departure from Shopify's digital-first principles. Lütke eventually chose to debug the company, abandoning the logistics network and taking a significant financial hit to return to software. The company refocused on the next frontier, AI and agentic commerce, ensuring independent merchants can survive a future of machine-to-machine purchasing. Maintaining strict founder control over voting shares allowed Lütke to make these painful corrections without being forced out by short-term market pressure. Shopify now handles roughly 10% of all U.S. e-commerce, processing billions in merchandise volume over a single holiday weekend. They built a $130 billion empire, not by becoming an extractive monopoly, but by stubbornly building a better tool. The ultimate way to conquer the internet isn't by defeating everyone else, It's by building the system that empowers everyone else to win.